I've got Gary back now. I've got Gary back. We were just saying, Gary, that it's you against me, and my kids have called Christmas off, and they don't seem to care about any of that, and they think they're doing the right thing, and I think, oh my God, what's a load of twats.
It's so sad. It's so sad because humans need interaction. They need sort of like to cuddle each other and get near to each other, and it's
not just that. We're starting to disrespect or have no respect for our friends anymore and our family because they're so caught in everything when it's not real. You heard me sent a message to a friend of mine. It's just on the television. You turn the television off and it goes away.
Well, you know what I was thinking the other day? It's making everybody into loads of little balanced sugar for money. Me, narcissist. I just want to make money out of people, but they haven't got the money, but they're not caring about people. So, they're just walking past people. Oh, get away from me! You might have the lurgies and this, that, and the other. And it's just really soulless. Like, is this ever going to stop? Is it in for the long haul?
If everybody turned their television off, it would stop, and everybody got on with their life. The only thing I've noticed in the last few weeks, from the month lockdown and now, is that everybody's sort of still getting on with things. I still see people out. The first time we didn't. Everybody was locked down for 6 months. But people have got on. More people have got on with their lives in this last couple, which is good. You just get on with your life.
Like I said to you, I sent you a text. I said, if you'd have walked into William Mill just a year ago and wrote down on a bit of paper exactly what this world was going to be in 12 months' time, they'd give you unbelievable odds. They'd give you probably sort of like 500 to 1, 1,000 to 1, maybe more. Because,
you'd have been rich now.
I'll be rich. It's a shame I couldn't look in. I know I'm sort of like, I do look into the future to a certain degree, Karen, but if I looked in the future that good, me and you could have been in bleeding Cuba now. Oh no, we can't. We're not allowed to fly.
Yeah, we're being turned away. All I see is all the countries that we're not allowed to go to now. And you just think, yeah, right. So they're basically grinding everything to a halt again.
Well, I mean, the thing is, have you noticed that there's a new super strain? Apart from the new super strain, there's a second super strain. Apparently, there's 2 people.
Gary, mutant. It's called mutant.
It's a mutant.
It's a mutant. I'm coming to get you, Gary.
Yeah, it's just like a very bad B zombie movie, It's about
everybody's yes.
I mean, the only thing they got wrong with all the zombie movies. I mean, I know it's all predictive programming, the world we live in. It always has been, from the moon landings to everything else. But the thing is, the thing they got wrong, you never see them wearing face masks in the zombie movies, did you? That was the only difference. Well, I can't remember seeing them wearing face masks.
Mind you, they're dead already, aren't they, Gary? They don't need one.
They're dead. Did you see that? There's another couple the other day that got married, and they had I called them the pig's trotter, one, and they had them on when they got married, and they kissed with them on. So basically, they never locked their lips, but they just sort of put these 2 white, blinking, horrible masks, these big, heavy masks, together, and sort of had a little smooch with them on. And I thought, my God, if they did that now, how are they going to consummate the marriage?
Well, you know what I think about those things.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I've still got my little pastor around my neck, and I've got this snud thing that I wear, and I don't even wear. I mean, I've worn one for years. When it's cold in the winter time, I'll just put it on, and basically it's just sort of it's there anyway. And
yeah, I know that's the strange thing. Like, say this time last year, if we all walked in with masks on, people would say, "Oh my God, they're coming for us!" Quick, shut the shop up! There's loads of people in here with masks on. They're coming for us.
I don't know if you heard the story about one of the guys the company that makes the hand sanitizer. He was on his knees this time last year, and then now he's meant to be worth millions. It went from one extreme to the other. 1 minute he couldn't sort of give the bleeding stuff away. Now you can't make enough of it.
I just find it's really strange that you can't buy your clothes down the high street, but you can go and buy them in Tesco's or Marks and Spencer's.
Well, I don't know if you've seen this video of this guy, like, and he's absolutely wonderful. He's from Maidstone, and like, you know, one time I'm sure our paths will cross, and he walks into his local police station, and I think I sent it to you, and he said I want to speak to someone. I took him into a room, like, and he was saying, like, well, my wife has got a couple of shops, like, she sells clothes. And how come she can't open, like, and I can walk into M&S, like, and go and buy a load of clothes? I said, yes, sir, but they sell, like...
yeah, they get away with it because they sell food.
So he said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll start knocking up some sandwiches, like, and selling them. So if he got and I think it's an A3 licence, I'm not sure, my mate at a fish and chip shop, I was talking about it to him, and he said, I think it's an A3 licence. But then he still couldn't do it. They turned around and said, no, sir, we'll come round and shut you down and arrest you, because you're not allowed to do it. So, you know, this is, why don't people see it? So, you know, a little guy on the high street, if he's selling clothes and food, he can't do it, but then maybe Tesco's can do it. You know,
that bit really gets me, because people can't see it's just the corporations that are getting the money.
Yeah, all the big corporations that you know, literally just cleaning up, aren't they now? And I mean, that Amazon bloke, like Jeff Bezos or whatever his name is.
Do you know, I still feel, you know, your favourite subject, NASA. I watched this programme where they were talking about...
My lovely friends, NASA, yeah.
They talked about cognitive engineering, and basically they said that they were coming down here to run down here, and this might be their takeover. And that's why we're having like it is. I mean, they've never conquered anything else, but they've had all that money for years, and cognitive engineering, which is controlling the mind. And now they're doing it by actually taking over down here, but we haven't noticed, and that's what's happening, is everything's moving over. But my biggest shock, I mean, you know, you listen to everybody tell you about the Queen. Queen seems to own everything. She owns 6.6 million acres of America. 6.6 million acres. She owns...
That's an awful lot of land.
She still owns India. She owns Australia. She owns New Zealand. She owns Canada. She owns many islands, and she owns the Commonwealth, and that has many countries in it. The only ones I don't see in there are Russia and China. But we still seem to have our hand in with Russia. I don't know about China. A lot of people tell me this thing about Russia. So the Empire, I did a video about the Empire today, and it just, to me, is, I think that there was something about us and Tartaria, I don't know what it was, but we seem to be ruling the waves.
We do, don't we? And, you know, this is what it is. People, you know, don't realise that we know 100% that all his story is a complete bloody lie and bullshit and completely corrupted. And you know, we're living in
a lot of people say maybe the pictures are all blanked out because it had Zeppelins in them. I mean, we won't know that for sure, will we? But our history is such a lie.
There's no doubt we had. There's no doubt we have free energy, because you can get out videos of people that just stick a big bleeding rod in the ground. They get about a 50-foot like rod, stick it in the ground like, and they can complete a circuit, and they get a current out of it. It's obviously a big building high up. You're getting like energy from the ether. You know, back to what you were saying about a minute ago. I mean, you know, how can people not see it? I mean, I see that thing the other day when the NASA engineer or astronaut like Don Petty come on. He said, oh, we'd love to go back to the moon in a nanosecond, but we've lost all the technology. Now, how can you say something like that and people not realise?
How could they lose the technology?
Well, can you imagine like...
And nobody's saying anything. No one's saying, how disgusting. You get $57 million a day and all you've done is lost the technology.
Well, the thing is, like, it's like, it would be like Henry Ford, like, saying, like, I would have liked to build another, like, Model T, like, but I've lost all the diagrams for it, so I can't do it anymore. And you think to yourself, you know, there would be uproar. They say, well, what the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard? But they can do that with, like, space travel and nothing said. I mean, he's actually on TV saying that. He said, oh, we'd go back in a nanosecond, but we lost the technology. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, I still meet people. The little trick I used to do, while I was down Hyde Park, the first thing I say to them, because I got to cheese off in the end, trying to tell them about we live on a flat plane, we see too far, waterways is level, blah, 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 all the usual jargon we use. But I say to them, do you believe we went to the moon? As soon as I used to turn around and say yes, there's no point in talking to them. It's a complete...
those ones, it's like, it doesn't matter what you say to someone who's asleep. It doesn't matter what you say. We already did that one. You already understand that one. Well, obviously, we've got spirits, and these people only have souls. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know that you and I see the world as equal, but they don't see us as equal. They're better than
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
They know more than us. They're, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I just get, I'm trying to keep my
Do you know
mouth
something?
shut, to be honest,
I mean,
out there.
for the longest time, Karen, I've never been materialistic, and I think I told you this before. Like, where I used to live, like, what my old postman come up and he said, "Here, Gal, I've got a Ferrari." So I said, "Oh, well, great." He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He must have got an inheritance or something, because you're not going to get it on postman's wages, and maybe he's robbing banks, who knows. Anyway, he said, "I'll bring it round and I'll show you." He said, "I'll drive it round and I'll show you." I said, "Oh, great." He brought it round. I come out. He said, "Here it is." He lifted up the bonnet and all that. And I said, "Yeah, it's great. It's just like that little Mini over there, like it gets from A to B." And he looked at me, completely with surprise. He wanted me to go, wow, look, you got a Ferrari.
My
And
son
he
did
doesn't
that
realise.
to me. My son bought an
When you're not-
older
when you're not-
BMW, right, a few years ago. But to him, he'd bought his bee's knees. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, really? And he had a real go at me because I did not fulfill his passion of how wonderful it was.
You see, when you're
It's about
materialistic,
15 years old. I don't see why I have to love a car that's 15 years old. You've got a great big, what do you call it, loan out on it to pay for it.
well, I remember when I was younger, like, I used to just wear any clothes I used to wear jeans that were just hanging off me, and with holes in. Even before they did them ripped jeans, like, it was just.
No, you
jeans
didn't
that
realise
I,
that you were in the fashion game.
and if I went on a date or something, like, I wonder why the girl didn't want to see me again, because obviously there was a time when people, well, I think it's still like it, people they want to see you sort of like all tied up with like lovely clothes on and a suit and whatnot. And I used to turn up with a pair of ripped jeans before they come out, like, and an old t-shirt, like, and then they think, oh, I don't want to see him again, because I've always been like this. And maybe because I never got married, because people want materialistic things, don't they? But I've never been materialistic, so.
Well, I don't mind if someone dropped a new car off for me today. I mean, I know we can't go anywhere right now, but if someone said you're on a holiday, but they're not the things that move me. It's the people and hearts and things that move me, not money.
Well, it's exactly the same as me, Karen, isn't it? I mean,
we're empaths, aren't we?
Yeah, we're empaths, and I can't walk past someone. If I see someone on the street or something, I'll try not to give them money, like, because, especially if they're a junkie or they're going to get some blinking vino or something, like, I'll get them something to eat. But the other day there was a bloke. I had loads and loads of firmware that I used to use. I was a motorcycle courier, and I thought, well, I'm going to see that bloke again, like, and I actually put it in with all the Christmas presents I was giving to people, like, and I see him come along, and I said, there you go, mate, it'll keep you warm, especially like, this time of the year, and he was ever so thankful, and I'll get a buzz out of that, I mean, some of them had some of this firmware had bloody holes in, but it's better than nothing for him. He ain't got nowhere to live. He'd probably sleep in a bin or something, and that's what we all should be. The trouble is, with what's happening at the moment, even people that did used to help people to a certain degree, that's all gone out now, because they just avoid that guy. They'll walk past him, oh, I can't hear him, look at him, he's a bleeding paraffin lad. I mean, me and Harry McDonald are still going around like, shaking the hand, like, of old tramps on the street, and people, dossers and one thing and another, because we know.
Yeah, Gary, I think that's what it is. When you've got that thing on your face, you just walk straight past everybody. Beforehand, you could say, hi, how are you, or hello, and people would say hello back. But now they just walk straight, because they got the mask on, she hasn't got a mask on, just walk past, and they can't say hello to you or anything. That thing stops them saying hello.
Well, I mean, I know you don't watch the TV, like, but when you watch these reporters, even my friend said it. She said, "Blinking hell, girl, you can't hear what the geezer's saying. Like, he's going, he's talking away, but it's all a load of nonsense because he's got the mask on." I don't know if you've seen the scenes at Dover, but there's like now, but Johnson thought there was only 170 lorries down there. There's about 4,000 lorries waiting to go back to France. And they haven't even got news down there or everything. And they've got to have a COVID test now. Before they go back on the ferry, they've got to have a COVID test. So God knows they're going to be there. They're not going to be home before Christmas.
Is that what they're going to do? Because you know that we import nearly all our food. If they close the ports, then we're going to have strikes. And then there's going to be no food and everything.
Well, I'll keep you up to date, obviously. But what I've seen so far, we're watching like Sky News a lot of the day, and what's happened is down at Dover, there's about 4,000 lorries that are caught there, and the French government have turned around and said, Macron or whatever his bleeding name is, like I said, man, I said, anyone that comes back over to here has got to have a COVID test. So they've gone down, the army have gone down here now, and they're testing all these drivers. Well, I mean, the thing is, what reliable is going to be the test anyway? I mean, you know, with all the false positives and all that,
well, they don't care as long as there's loads of them. They don't care, do they, Gary? Whether it's true or not, they don't care. Just as long as there's big figures coming through for their stupid, ridiculous fake.
Do you know what I really hope, Karen? I really hope that there's loads of positives, because then it's up to the British government to have to put them up in hotels for 2 weeks. They've got to self-isolate over here.
Yeah, but that means there's no food coming in, Gary.
Well, yeah, because it's here going over there. I mean, they're not going the other way. Listen to this. There was a guy from Scotland. He had I mean, I don't know, you know, I'm vegan anyway, but he had £150,000 worth of lobsters on his lorry, and he was talking to the reporter, and he said, "I've got 1 day left before they all go bad, and then we've got to throw the whole lot away. Probably have to tip them into the sea, like over the White Cliffs of Dover." Yeah, he told the reporter. He said, "There's 1 day left. If I ain't going to get back now, obviously, because it looked like he was a little bit down the line. He's probably like about number 1,000 or something. But I know them ferries only take so many lorries. But I don't know. It's all craziness, isn't it? It's
absolute craziness, because you know what? You just put number 3 on top of it, and people were like living in that. Like we've had number 1 and number 2. In the 1918 and 1940s, and now we're in the middle of another one, but it's not real.
I know, it's all like absolute rubbish, isn't it? And it's like, you know, to be honest with you, I'm like a lot of my other friends in the truth community.
Well, it's frustrating, isn't it? This is really, for anybody that's woken up, it's really frustrating, isn't it?
It's frustrating, because the thing is, you see, it's even dividing like us with our family and our friends, because it's getting to the point. One of my friends, you know, she's driving me bonkers now. She's actually driving me bonkers. She says, blah blah blah, this, that, and the other. You know, the vaccine's out and one thing and another, and it's so distressing, because it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you say to them. They're not gonna listen to you. They're not gonna listen to you. So, you know, just let them get on with it. I've come at the point now, and do you remember I said to you about a good few months ago? I said all the people that are awake now are pretty much it. You're gonna get the odd one or two here and there, but if you can't see it by now, you're never gonna see it. End of story. Whatever this realm is going to give to us, and we're going to change reality and all that, we've got to do it with the numbers.
I do feel sorry for all the little babies that are being born today. I just think, what are they coming into? What's their world going to be like when they grow up?
Well, I think to myself now, you know, whatever happens to me now, you know, I've lived over sort of like 50. I'm 60 years old now, so I've had my life. So whatever happens to me is immaterial. But I think about all, you know, my great nephews and nieces, and all people that are sort of like that got kids and one for another, because it's going to be a completely different world for them, and a horrible world. Because
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I just really feel for, you know, the little
do you know something, Karen? When I look back to sort of like the 80s and all that, you know, because I've always been a
oh no, we've lost my connection with Gary. I'll just get Gary back. Hang on, everybody. Okay.
Yeah,
I've got Gary back. I've got him back. It always does that on WhatsApp, doesn't it? It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It always cuts off after so many minutes.
Yeah, it's a shame, because I think the atmosphere ain't good outside either. You know, it's absolutely bucketing down with rain. We wanted a white Christmas, not a wet one.
At least it's warmed up there, Gary, because it was quite cold, and now it's warmed up a bit.
Yeah, it's meant to be getting cold tomorrow. Well, you know, most of the country tomorrow is going into tier 4, not tomorrow. Sorry, on Boxing Day is going into tier 4. They said. So
why did my kids do that? Why did my kids do that to me, to not inviting me for Christmas, if it doesn't even happen till freaking Boxing Day? Do you see what I mean? I've got grandchildren, and that means I won't see them. And if this carries on, I'm not going to see them till April. And that's what it's doing. It's stopping people seeing people.
What it is, it's pulling families apart, isn't it? It's making a very uncaring world, because people like me and you that are empaths, that have always cared about other people. I mean, with me especially, I care more about other people than what I care about myself. It's like, it's horrible for us, because people don't even want it. This is what
Do you know what my son said to me, Gary? Right, my ex-husband's wife died. And what it was is she had a leaky heart valve, and then my son said, well, she'd got Lyrus, and so they wouldn't operate. And so she died of virus. And I said, no, she didn't. She died because the hospital wouldn't operate on her. So the hospital killed her.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everybody. And the hospital killed her. Because she had a leaky heart valve and they needed to operate and they didn't because of the stupid virus.
That's right. It's awful, isn't it?
Isn't that awful? They killed her.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost scary now going into hospital, isn't it? You think you might go.
Yeah, that's what I tried to explain. That's why nobody wants to go into hospital. But anyway, we don't want to talk too much about that, Gary, because we're coming to the end of our talk. But I'm really upset that she's not anything to me. She's my husband's wife. I liked her, and I'm very upset that she's gone.
I'm sorry.
And she had such a horrible end of her life because she met my ex-husband and they got married, and then one of her kidneys packed up. Then she got, years later, a transplant, but she didn't really go out that much because she was always quite worried about herself. And now she died of that. Like, what a horrible life. She was just ill for years.
That's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, she wasn't a bad person. I quite liked her, to be honest. You're not supposed to like your husband's wife, are you? But I did. Me and her got on really well. And guess what? Her birthday was the 13th of June, and mine's the 14th of June.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're both Geminis.
But anyway, what about the Great Conjunction? Did you see anything?
No, but a lot of people were explaining it to me. But I also saw that it was affecting people's minds, like my children, like all the people that are right now. It's affected all of them. It must be taking something from our energy.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
I don't know how they do it exactly, but they just.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll change the stories about what's happened now in years to come. Like, we'll never really know what the First and Second World War were, what they were being told at the time.
Well, I mean, let's face it, most people that are still alive that fought in the Second World War now, they're either very, very old, like, and a lot of them probably got dementia as well. So, you know, it's difficult to get the truth, isn't it? Because of the time scale.
Well, I suppose if they were into the saving their country, I think that's the sad bit. There's no unity. There's no unity. That's the bit that upsets me. It's all about me, get away from me, and it's all like that. So that's the sad bit, isn't it?
The sad thing is, what we know, like it's all been scripted. It's all bloody script line. You know, people. Because what you got to remember, people have said to me before, "Oh, Gal, you know what you're doing and what your friends are doing, like you and everyone else, like Karen is." Oh, there's not been no one in history like you, but it was conscientious objectors in the Second World War and the First World War.
Yeah, was there people like us in the First World War and the Second World War that knew it wasn't right when it was going along?
They got put in prison. They got put in prison. You know, the prisons were full of people like Jehovah's Witnesses and others like that turned around and said, "I can't kill anybody," you know, and if they stuck
because we're only at the beginning of this. We don't know what it's going to be like in a few years' time yet, do we? We're only at the beginning of this right now.
That's right. No, it's awful.
Well, I've got a big long list that I'm writing down who I need to go to prison. It starts with Boris, Trump, Queen, observatories because they've lied. Obviously, anybody that's had their hand in this, the army, the medication, the medication system. I don't mean the nurses, but I mean the ones higher up that are doing this. I mean, there's a list of people I've got here that I'd love to be put on an island or prison.
What you got to remember is, in the Second World War, a lot of Nazis in the Nuremberg trial said, "I was just taking orders," and they're going to use the same excuse this time. But it didn't wash in the Second World War. It's not going to wash now. They can, they were turning around and saying, like, Nazi sort of like.
If everybody opened their shops up and got on, they wouldn't be able to arrest us all.
It's impossible. That's what I'm saying. I mean, the thing is, we've said this from day one, and it's amazing how easy everyone's rolled over. I mean, they've just rolled over with it,
So there's no marches or anything in London then? I mean, I could actually go on one now, Gary. I know it's not much, and people say they don't work, but what are you left to do?
To be honest with you, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I'm actually in agreement with a lot of other truthers and said this was all rolled out because we was waiting too many people. We was waking so many people up. This was all rolled out double quickly, keep us all apart. But I think
that's why they have it going every 5 seconds on the news, because it's just a constant reminder, and people don't realise, and you get sucked into all that. You have to turn it off.
I was thinking of something the other day, and I thought, if we didn't have mobile phones and computers and one thing or another, someone like me who's just been in torment, like for best part of all my life, not been able to converse with other people like me. There is some good that's come out of it.
Oh no, Gary, you're a lovely friend. I love you. You know that.
And I love you. I love you too. You know that. As soon as we meet up again, we have a
hug.
big
we'll have a hug
and a cuddle.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you to the moon and back. But I think I better go now because.
Yeah, Gary's away. Gary's just joined me. He's hiding in the bedroom so he can talk to me, and we've been about about 45 minutes now in all with the phone call. Gary, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Oh, like it always is, Karen. And we've got so much more. We've got so much more to talk about, but I think I better rejoin my friend, and like I said, we'll talk again very, very, very soon. And I've got so much more to say, but we just keep on plugging on, because the thing is, that's all we can do. What else can we do?
Yeah, and the other thing as well is we're not really hearing about NASA and all that, are we, at the moment?
No, that's right. I bet it's been put on the shelf, isn't it? And of course, even us, we've all put flat Earth.
Well, we can let them float off, can't we?
Yeah, we put flat Earth on the back shelf, on the back.
We need one of those stickers on the ISS space station, don't we?
yeah, and it's crazy. When I speak, I can speak to someone now for about 5 seconds. I know instantly whether they're awake or not.
Yeah, we do, don't we? We do. Anyway, we'll stop. I'll say goodbye to you afterwards, but for the recording, we're going to stop the recording now. And thanks very much for your input, my lovely Gary.
That's all right. As always, I love you to the moon and back, like I said, and we'll speak very soon, Karen.
That's not very far away, though, Gary.
That's not far. It's not 237,000 miles anymore, is it?
I love you to the moon and back too. All right, thanks, Gary.
All right, see you soon. Speak to you soon, Karen. Bye.